Hello there, fellas, this is Udaldor and welcome to another 172 mod spotlight. Today we are taking a look at Ender Tanks by ShetiPhian. I really hope I pronounced that right. Anyways, this is a mod for Minecraft 164 and 172, I believe. And I'm using version 172 Rev 15 as of this video. It's the latest version. So there might be newer versions with newer features, and hopefully the mod will update to 1.7.10 pretty soon. We'll see about that though. This mod does require a dependency, ShetiPhian core, and you can find that, the links for both of these mods in the description. You can go ahead and download them on CurseForge. Alright, so what are the thoughts about this mod? Now, basically, if you remember EnderStorage by ChickenBones, in the early days of it, you didn't have any Ender tanks, and ShetiPhian made this mod before Ender tanks were actually out. And people liked the new features of it compared to the one from the official newer EnderStorage with the Ender tanks. And he decided to keep working on it. So basically, this is very similar to EnderStorage, but EnderStorage isn't out for 1.7.2 just yet, so I'd recommend you go ahead and download this and play around with it because it is very cool. Anyways, the mod itself adds 2 items. A block and the Ender tank, and an item, the Ender bucket. Now, the tank and bucket are kind of meant to work similar to how the Ender chest and the Ender pouch works, so I'll get to that later. How you make the Ender tank: 4 blaze rods, a wool, a bucket, 2 obsidian, and an Ender pearl. That's gonna get you the standard Ender chest. No, Ender tank, sorry. And it is basically color coded white, 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 and I'll get into the color coding a bit later on. Now, if you use, let's say, purple wool, you're gonna get an Ender tank coded purple, 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 purple. All right. Same for the buckets. You can use any type of wool to get different color codes, and the Ender bucket is made with 4 blaze powder, 3 iron ingots, an Ender pearl, and a piece of wool. So you can use any color wool here as well. Now let's get into the basic usage. When you place these down in the world, you can take a look at the Ender tank, and if you have Wayla installed, you can actually see some information about it. So you can see right now that it can store 32,000 millibuckets, which is 32 buckets to be exact. You can also see that this is for public use, meaning anyone with a chest, white, 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 will have access to this chest's inventory. Alright? Now, normally you can just go ahead and, I'm actually gonna go ahead and go back into survival, and normally you can just go ahead and fill the tank up with a bucket if you want to. You know, you can empty stuff by right clicking with an empty bucket, you know, basic tank usage. Now, a pretty cool feature that I really like is the redstone support. So basically, any Ender tank with a tank, any tank, it could be a Buildcraft tank or any other tank, probably a Railcraft tank as well. If the Ender tank has a tank above it, and you apply a redstone signal, it's automatically going to drain that tank bucket by bucket into the tank itself. So that is a pretty cool feature. Now, same goes if you have a tank below it. If you apply a redstone signal to a tank with a tank below it, it's going to empty into the tank. Now, as you can see, it empties slower than it fills up. Alright? Pretty cool. That's a feature I really, really, really like. Now, some more basic usage. If you wanna extract or insert liquids into these tanks, you can see that this is an orange tank, and this as well, and these two are magenta, I think. If you want to insert or export liquids, you're gonna have to do so from the top or the bottom. So right here I have a fluid conduit from Ender.io set to extract. This will extract whenever I flip this lever, and it's going to travel here, and it's going to enter this tank right here. Now over here I have an export thing on the bottom. Remember, here I'm extracting from the top, here I'm extracting from the bottom, just to show you that it works both ways. And when I flip this lever, it's going to try to export from these two. But you can see that these tanks both have 5k of water, because these are color-coded the same. Just like you can see here, these also have the same amount of liquid in them. So the basic concept is that tanks of the same color share the inventory. Alright, now I can go ahead and flip this lever now. It's gonna drain, and you can see that it drains from this tank and this tank. Now, what happens now? Well, this thing is on right here, meaning the water goes into this tank, and these inventories are the same. So when it drains from here, it drains back into this tank, which then fills up this tank as well, obviously, because they're the same, and it just goes around and around and around. If I turn this thing off, you can see that it quickly stops. These tanks get emptied, and these are now the tanks with the liquids in them. Alright, I can go ahead and turn this off now. Turn this on, and now it's going to be the other way around. Alright, and these also do work cross-dimensional, you should know. So I could have a magenta tank in the nether filling up with lava, and I could have another magenta tank in the overworld draining lava into some kind of generator. So that's pretty cool. Now, how do the ender buckets work? Now let's take a look at that. These tanks right here now have 5k liquids in them. Alright, I'm gonna fill up a little more. Now here I have an ender bucket, and this ender bucket has the same color code as this tank, and that's because I crafted it with white wool. Alright? Meaning this tank has the same inventory as this tank. If you just right click with the bucket in your hand, you can actually get some information, and this is a little more exact than the Wayla information. You can see that we actually have 11.25k of water in here. We can go ahead and do that, and now we should have exactly 11k. Yeah, okay, cool. So you can even see that it's water. Alright, so with this, just go ahead and shift right click if you want to place a block. Shift right click, and now you'll see we have 10k. Alright, so I can go ahead and you know, fill this up, create an infinite water source like so. Now we have 6k in here. Now I can fill it up by simply right clicking like you normally would do. So just doing this, and I can fill this up completely if I want to, and now you will see that we have a lot more water than we had before. So right click to pick up liquids, shift right click to place down liquids. Alright? Very, very cool items, the ender buckets. Now, what if you want to color these after you made them? Well, it's not that complicated. What you have to do is simply, well, you can color them like this, but if you want to color them afterwards, you can just go ahead and place down a tank, and you can take any dye. There are 16 different types of dye, remember that, white to black. You can go ahead and right click on these little bands, and you can actually see, if I look up close, that if I hover over this band, the border is actually around this band and not the block itself. Right? Pretty cool. So just right click on the band and you set it to that color. So I could go ahead and color all these bands with different colors. So now I have a red, blue, yellow tank. This pretty much results in 4096 different codes, simply because we have 16 different colors and 3 different bands. So 16 times 16 times 16 results in 4096 different modes. So that's pretty cool. There's always a mode. Now, if you want to color a tank, simply take the tank, shift right click on whatever chest, and the bucket will receive the same color code as the chest. No, I don't know why I keep saying chest. This is an ender tank. Alright, so now I could go ahead and fill this up if I wanted to. Like so. Then I could take my bucket and I could go over here and place this down. No problem. Awesome. So coloring isn't all that difficult. Now, you can also make private networks like you can in EnderStorage. Just take a diamond, and I'm actually going to go into survival so you can see that it actually uses up a diamond. Just take your diamond and right click on the chest. Now you can see that both of these share the same network because they're both public and they're both color coded the same. If I now make this a private one by right clicking, you can see that the edges turn shiny diamonds. And now you can actually see that the public use line changed to my player name, which is VMBinner. And you can also see that now they don't share the same inventory anymore, and this one is actually empty. Pretty cool. So now I could go ahead and set this bucket to here, and now this bucket is also diamondy, shiny, and this now shares the same inventory as this one. Now the cool thing is, when I right click on the tank myself, this gets bound to me, meaning no one else can use this tank at all. If we head into survival and grab a pickaxe, we can break this, and you'll see that the diamond actually, you get the diamond back. So no one can come and break your chest and bring your network with them. So that's a pretty nice feature right there. All right. Now, there are actually some upgrades. Right now, these can store 32 buckets. That isn't a whole lot. You can actually upgrade the storage by using ender pearls or Eyes of Ender. And the maximum amount of buckets you can have in one of these is 256. Which basically means that you can either use, I think it is 28 pearls to get the maximum storage. So if we take a look right here, let's fill up this with water. You can see that the max is 32k. If I simply go ahead and use one ender pearl, I should go into survival for this, you'll see it increases to 40k. And you can actually see that down in the bottom as well. And I could keep filling this up, and you can see it also applies to this one because they're in the same network. And eventually we'll reach a max of 256,000 millibuckets. And that is a whole bunch, because normally you'd use these to transport liquids, not store them. Now again, you can do the same thing with Eyes of Ender, but since these increase the storage by double the amount the pearls do, you only need 14 to get to the max. Pretty cool. Alright, now lastly, I want to talk about some creative features. If you're in creative mode and you get one of these ender buckets, let's see here, let me get one of those. Get the white one, sure. And this one is water. Okay, cool, good. Basically what you have is, if we take a look here, you'll notice that this also has 14k because same network. If you're in creative mode, any bucket will serve as an infinite void, so you can remove however much liquid you want to, and it won't ever fill up your tank. So doing this in creative won't result in any higher storage use in your chest. Now you can also place down however much liquid you want to. It won't drain, as you can see, and I could place down all liquids I want. It'll never fill up. So that's a pretty useful feature as well. If you're building something, perhaps. I don't know. Anyways, that's a quick walkthrough of the Ender Tanks mod. I would recommend you go read a little bit about the mod on CurseForge or even the Minecraft forum thread. There are links to everything in the description. And I really hope you will enjoy the mod. And that's about it, I think. I won't go into you know, the really advanced things you can do with these, but there are a lot of of cool things you could build, definitely. So, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to my channel, it really does help me. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter as well. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.